What's up again, guys? Brian here at 3TR. Welcome to another episode of People's Questions. Episode, I believe, 290. Big number. We got a pretty basic episode. I don't really see too many questions that are a little bit out there or any newbies this time around, so I guess it's just an episode of our regulars. The drink bar real simple with a common regular of mine go by the name of Abel Z. You want to know who is the best person I've met on the internet? That's a tough one. That's a tough one because there's two people that come to mind, but for very different reasons. On one hand, I did happen to meet Rachel Moore, who's to this day one of my all-time favorite YouTubers, and in fact she's probably one of the main inspirations of the channel, and on top of that the channel is actually named kinda after her in a sense, and I've met her at 3 different occasions. She's really awesome person. On the other hand, I've met Kathleen MMS, who's an incredible YouTuber, amazing content, highly intellectual, and yet she was able to convince me to leave the country for the first time. It would be one of those two, but I would say it's a dead tie. Both of those two are great YouTubers and have truly become great friends of mine over the years. So I would pick one of those two, or I would just say both of them by far. Next question comes from Matt Cruz. You want to know what has been my favorite movie trailer this year? Believe it or not, I think the best movie trailer that I've seen this year so far is from the Netflix movie Bright. Will Smith and Joel Edgerton, I hope I said this right, that looks like a really fantastic film. For those of you that haven't seen it, basically it takes like a realistic, it takes a realistic turn on fairy tales, and so you have like ogres and elves and fairies, and they pretty much, what would it be like if they actually existed in our real world? And there's a specific situation that happens, which I'm not going to spoil here, but I'm really looking forward to seeing that when it comes out on Netflix. And I think we're starting to get to a point where we're actually getting such quality movies on Netflix that our need to have to actually go out to the theaters might decrease as the years go by, because that movie looks very impressive, and it looks like it has some great high production quality, so I'm looking forward to that. Next question comes from Zyborg136, and you want to know, why won't I see Justice League movie coming out? I'm not going to see it because A, it has Wonder Woman in it, B, it's a Zack Snyder movie, and C, after what he did with Batman vs. Superman, I don't even want to know what he's going to do with Justice League. Here's the thing. I don't have anything against Zack Snyder. I think that he is an incredible visual director. He knows how to film an action scene. He knows how to make something look good. But what he can't do is handle a story. Look at all of his movies that he's done. Either they've already had established storylines, or the story isn't necessarily strong. For example, 2 of my favorite films of his are Watchmen and 300. 300 is based off a comic book of a specific event, which isn't really very sophisticated with the Battle of Thermopylae. Now when it comes to Watchmen, I think he did a pretty good job, especially with the director's cut, and the changes that were made, especially towards the end, I think were necessary, because I think that the elements that were in the Watchmen novel, I think were a little bit too wacky, and so he kind of gave it a much more grounded ending, in my opinion. But when you go to trying to build the DC Cinematic Universe, it is clear that it is Marvel who is driving this ship, because DC and Warner Brothers are so desperate to try to catch up that they hired a director who's a fast worker. He's not about building story over time. And despite how some people feel, I actually somewhat enjoyed what they did with Man of Steel. However, I'm pretty sure that Christopher Nolan did have a major influence on that film. But moving forward, we're going into Zack Snyder's style of movie, and that was a complete disaster in Batman vs. Superman. I mean, I was like on the verge of walking out. I was just so pissed off, and I openly stated that that was literally the worst movie I had ever seen Batman and Superman in. Like, just in general. I thought it was way worse than Superman 4 Quest for Peace, and I thought it was way worse than Batman and Robin, despite the fact that Batman and Robin is actually entertaining, and some people don't acknowledge it as probably being the best thing that ever happened to Batman, because if that movie had been good, we would have gotten a follow-up, and we never would have gotten the Dark Knight trilogy, which, to me, I think was worth it. So, I'm just not gonna give it a chance this time. I don't think Justice League is gonna be good. I don't want to waste my time. And the only DC movie I'm going to see moving forward is Batman. And I swear to God, if I hear the word Wonder Woman happen in that movie, I'm walking out. I am so done with this bitch. The character, not the actress. I think she's a wonderful person. The character, I hate Wonder Woman. And I just don't want to deal with this film. So that's just my general reasoning for never wanting to see Justice League. Next question, sorry about that, comes from JBat. You want to know, am I excited for The Evil Within 2? Absolutely. By the time you see this, my copy should be here, and I'm probably playing it as this video is either editing or uploading. And I was wanting to know, do you guys want me to do like a Let's Play series of it? Because I kind of feel like my channel is like kind of lacking in terms of video game content, and I really want to push that out like a lot. Like, this is supposed to be mainly a gaming channel, and it's been a while since I've actually done a lot of gaming content. So I think maybe adding a Let's Play series will definitely add some videos to pass the time until things get a little bit more stabilized here. I mean, things aren't bad, but I'm kind of dealing with a lot of things. Certain things have happened here at the house, and I kind of have to work through those. But yeah, let me know. And on top of that, South Park is also coming out on the 17th, and I want to play that too. So I got 2 major games coming out that I'm really excited to play. But in terms of The Evil Within 2, absolutely. I'm absolutely pumped to play that. Next question comes from Alucina. Oh, I know I probably said that wrong. I'm sorry. If you could like type how it's pronounced to make it easier for me, that would really help. And you want to know, who do I think would win between Wolverine and Virgil? Virgil. I'm sorry. If Virgil's sword can cut through dimensions, I'm fairly certain it could cut through adamantium. And Wolverine just doesn't, he just doesn't have enough to take on someone as powerful as Virgil. So no, Virgil would win easily. Next question comes from Jalen Bradford. You want to know, which of Dante's devil triggers do I think is the coolest and the strongest out of all of them? Well, obviously the most powerful would be his one from Devil May Cry 2, because that's the oldest interpretation of it. I think visually it is the most powerful, because I think that's the only one outside of his devil trigger that he has in Devil May Cry 3 when he has the electric guitar attached that allows him to fly. I mean, some would say, well, he could kind of fly in Devil May Cry 1, but I think that was only when he had both sides of the amulet and he basically embodied the power of Sparta. I think that was the only time he could ever actually fly. So I'm fairly certain that the coolest looking and the most powerful is Devil Trigger in Devil May Cry 2. So that's what I would say. Next question comes from Cassidy J. Williams. You want to know, if The Incredibles, Wreck-It Ralph, Monsters Incorporated, or Atlantis the Lost Empire were added to Kingdom Hearts 3, what bosses would I want to see, and who would Sora's allies be? Okay, The Incredibles. I don't know. Use any, like, I don't know. Damn it. I as much as I enjoyed The Incredibles, I can't think of what the villain's name was. I feel bad about that, but if I could pick an ally for the Incredibles world, obviously you'd pick Mr. Incredible. Wreck-It Ralph. I'm not really sure what the main villain of that would be. I mean, you could say that one like creepy looking dude in that one like candy driving world, but I don't think he's a big enough threat. But obviously you would have Wreck-It Ralph as your ally. Monsters Incorporated, obviously. The ally I would pick is Sully. Atlantis the Lost Empire, I think the ally you would pick is probably Kita. But yeah, those are just my initial choices. Next question comes from Yoda Dick, and you want to know, what's my favorite Denzel Washington movie? Ooh, favorite Denzel Washington movie. That's a good one. I think my favorite... Damn, that is a really... I guess Training Day. I thought he was absolutely phenomenal in that. And you know, he's one of those few actors that can play off being a good and a bad guy very, very well. Very few actors can do that, but he's definitely one of the few and one of the legendary ones in my opinion. Next question comes from Goku-san. You want to know, do I think a DC character called Midnighter And if so, what do I think of him? Or do I know a character like that? No, I don't know who the Midnighter is, but that name does sound familiar, but I can't really say who he is. Next question comes from Statico Scarpini. You want to know, if I had to rewrite anything of Final Fantasy X storyline, what would it be? If I could rewrite anything, I probably wouldn't make Titus so much of a crybaby at times. I mean, there's a reason for it, but I think that was probably the primary reason a lot of people didn't like him. Now, I personally could understand where he's coming from because, you know, I had some father issues myself, but I didn't cry and whine about it my whole life. But I think I would just make him a much more tougher character. I think he absolutely did develop into the proper character he was supposed to be by the end, but I would say, like, for the first half of the game, he's just a big crybaby. Next question comes from Good Neutral Evil Chaos. You want to know, going off of Queen V's question, do I think that the game should start with Dante and Virgil versus co-owners versus Devil May Cry? What the hell? Okay, this is one of those questions I have to say very, very slowly, otherwise I'm not going to understand. Going off of the answer of Queen V's question, do I think that the game should start off with Dante and Virgil as co-owners of Devil May Cry and should end with Dante creating Devil May Cry? No, of course not. Dante created Devil May Cry all by himself. Virgil had nothing to do with that. I seriously doubt Virgil would even be interested in wanting to be, you know, a demon exterminator. That's not what he does. I mean, he has his own agenda. So no, I don't think that would be a good idea at all. I think that'd be horrible. Next question comes from the Immortal Super Being. You want to know, would I ever do a match between Isaac Clarke and Commander Shepard? No. No, that's ridiculous. Shepard is a trained Spectre who has traveled all across the galaxy, defeating all kinds of enemies, and has battled the Reapers. Isaac Clarke is a simple engineer who's engaged the Necromorph a few times, but he's no match for a properly trained opponent like Commander Shepard. That would be a total stomp, like in a dirty-looking stomp to be exact. Next question comes from Andrew Rogers. You want to know, do I watch honest trailers, and if so, did I see the video for the Kong Skull Island where the director showed up and literally stated the flaws of his film? No, I didn't see it, but I hope to God this bullshit Metal Gear Solid movie falls apart, because it can't be done. It cannot be done. I'm sorry. If there was any video game in the history of gaming I do not think could be properly transferred into a movie, it would be that one. Especially if he's going to be right in the center of the story, because that's the problem with Metal Gear. You don't want to start with you don't follow, if you're going to play these games, do not play them in numerical order. You're going to be fucking confused, because when you play Metal Gear Solid 1, you're not even at the beginning of the story. You're dead set in the middle. And so there's like 3 games prior to that with information you're going to need, because when they start talking about Big Boss, you're not going to know who the hell that is, because you haven't played either Metal Gear Solid 3, which is obviously the best, which is the one I would start with if you are going to do a movie of. You haven't done Portable Ops, you haven't done Peace Walker, and you damn sure haven't even done the first 2 original Metal Gears. So that's 5 games before this story even starts. That is decades of information you're missing. So no, I don't think they should do this movie. I hope it falls apart. I hope it bombs. I hope it's just another example as for why Hollywood should just leave video games alone. We don't need your influence. Heck, at this point in time, video games are better at telling stories than movies are. Next question comes from Zyborg136, and you want to know, will I ever do a game night with my fans on the PlayStation 4? Sure. Let me know when you guys want to play a game at night, and I'll be sure to make that happen. And I'll be nice, because I know you sent in 2 questions, so I'll let that one slide. And with that, those are the questions you guys sent for this episode. I'd like to thank you guys for making this episode possible. If you guys have any more questions you'd like me to answer in next week's episode, be sure to type them in the comments down below. Make sure to get them into me before next Wednesday before I start filming this. And just as a quick little update, keep your mailboxes open, or keep your eyes open, because I will have the official preview video for the next Versus Series matchup, with the official matchup coming out maybe probably the following week. And then I think I'm going to just jump right into the season finale and do Dante versus Cloud, because I'm just trying to rush things out. But I think I'll end the season there, and then I'll start season 4 with the Cloud versus Squall matchup. And if you guys have any games you would like me to play or upload videos for, please let me know. I'm trying to get up as much content as I can. I don't like just doing people's questions week after week after week. I would like to upload more videos, but I'm not sure what you guys would like to see. So please share your ideas with me of videos you would like to see, and I will try to get them up as best I can. So with that out of the way, I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.